Hi everyone, welcome to my Facebook February free virtual card class for orders placed with me during the month of January. I am so glad you're here with me today. Even though I'm a couple days late and I sound like Kermit the Frog, I'm still glad you're here with me today. I have been down with the dreadful lurgy, as my husband calls it. Hi Francis, that word lurgy came up on one of his word puzzles that he does, and when he looked it up, it says that it's British slang for any kind of undetermined contagious disease that affects you and makes you feel yucky. Well, I definitely have the dreaded allergy. So I'm still not fantastic today, so I'm going to apologize in advance for anything bizarre I say. I'm not medicated, so that won't be the fault. It's just that my head feels like it's full of cotton. And as soon as we're done here, I'm going back to bed. But I think I can get through this. I think I feel good enough to do that. It is Wednesday, February 12th, 2025, and I am happy to be here with you today. I can't believe I missed Monday. I mean, it's one thing to be sick and let you know that I'm not on. I totally spaced out on it. I was so sick. So sorry for that. My name is Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. I have been an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 28 years now, and I love what I do. And if you're hopping on, be sure to say hi. I see a lot of people popping on, so yay. And if you watch the replay, make sure you let me know that also. I am coming to you from a cool and dreary and gray and rainy Murfreesboro, Tennessee in the United States. So it is a good day to just stay in and rest. I'm actually in my pajamas. I don't even know if you can see them, but they're cute, so it doesn't really matter. Just so I can go right back to bed when we're done here. Thank you all for your wishes for feeling better. I think I'm on the road to recovery, but I still don't feel fantastic for sure. Everyone is welcome to join me today for this class and see the cute little projects that we make. But if you ordered from me with a qualifying order in the month of January, that means any order that was over $50, you should have received a kit from me with some projects in it. You can either put those together with me today, or you can watch today and come back and put them together later. That might be your best option because I may have to correct myself a few times today. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, hopefully you will like the projects that we make. Also, please feel free to share this video. That really helps me get my name out for my small business. This is a free class on my public page, so it is here for anyone to watch. Thank you guys for all hopping on and wishing me well. I really appreciate that. And this video will remain here in the video section indefinitely, so anyone can watch it. So I just appreciate that when you share me. Okay, let's go down to the table and see what we've got going on today. I'm going to turn you around, see how gray and wet it is out there. This is me, Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. My blog is crazystampinglady.blogspot.com. My email is crazystampinglady@gmail.com. My Facebook is facebook.com/crazystampinglady. And you can find me on YouTube under my name, Maureen Rolfes. To shop with me, go to stampingwithmaureen.stampin'up.net. And if you are shopping with me, please, in the month of February, use this hostess code. It gets me the most benefit for your order and allows me to give the most back to you in giveaways and free classes like this. If your order is over $150 pre-shipping and handling and tax, then don't use that code because that means you will earn hostess rewards and I want you to earn those. So in that case, skip the code. Okay, my free monthly class, this is what we're doing today for orders in January. The one that'll be for orders in February will be held in March, on Monday, March 10th at 11 a.m. Those kits will be mailed by March 1st. And to get those kits, you just need to place a qualifying order. So a $50 order using my hostess code will get you the 3 free card kits. $75, the 3 free card kits plus a bonus project. $100 will get you 3 free card kits, a bonus project, and a half a pack of an embellishment. Now, if your order again is over $150, then don't use that. Be aware that I only ship one kit per person, so it'll be the largest one you earn in that month if you place more than one order. Most of the products used are retired, but they are new products. They're not used, they're just retired, and you can recreate them with things that you have on hand. Any smaller order from me always receives a handmade card from me as a thank you, and all orders are placed into my monthly order prize drawing. This month I have a really special bonus going on, and I'm just going to say right now that I am way behind. My goal was to get these all together on Saturday and Sunday, get them out in the mail Monday for all the orders I received so far. That didn't happen. I got sick Saturday, and that's when I went down, and I've done nothing with these. There are piles of dies and punches and paper and embellishments and ribbon and stamp kits and everything all over my house, and my husband is being so gracious just leaving them for me. So once I feel better, I can get these boxes together quickly. But the way this works is I'm celebrating my 28th Stampin' Up! Anniversary this month. And if you place an order for $50 or more, you will earn a mystery box from me. A $50 order from you using my hostess code will not only get the free card kit we just talked about a minute ago, but it'll also get you a box from me at some point, I promise, filled with at least $50 worth of retired merchandise. A $100 order would get you $100 worth, a $75, $128, whatever. You're going to get a box worth approximately what your order size is. It just needs to be at least $50. And that'll automatically come to you. I do ask that you use the hostess code unless your order is over $150 pre-shipping and handling and tax. I think that's all I'm going to say about that right now because I just don't want my voice to go away too fast. So we're going to move that. Celebration is still going on through the end of February. So during Celebration, you can earn free Celebration products with your qualifying purchase. So that $50 order wouldn't earn it, but if you up that to $60, you would not only get my card kit and my mystery box this month, as well as pick an item out of Celebration. So that is very, very cool. I will mention that the Bloom Impressions Designer Series paper is on low inventory. Once it is gone, it is gone. So if you're loving that, you might want to get out there and get your order placed. We also added some new level 1 Celebration items, and I've shown these a couple times, but I did want to point out that the Natural Botanicals stamp set and the Beautiful Butterflies stamp set are currently unavailable. That means they got rid of all of the stock they had on hand. Now, both of those will be coming back because they are in our spring mini catalog. But I don't know if they will come back before Celebration is over. And if they don't, then they won't be available as a Celebration bonus. So be aware of that. But there is still a ton of other great items out here on this page, these 2 pages right here, this list, and also in the Celebration Mini. And the mini catalog is still going strong till April, and the annual catalog also. So don't forget about those. Okay, we're going to get right to this and hope for the best that I can get through these and not make too many mistakes. Our first project, let me grab the pieces for this. And I do have an instruction sheet, and I will put it out again at the end with the finished project, as well as post these at some point in the description. I can't say for sure it'll be immediately. It may be in a day or so, but when I feel better, I'll make sure I get those posted. This is our first project right here. It is this Dragonfly card. Now, in your kit, you will have received, let me just grab the kit right here. Make sure everything's out of the envelope. Always double check because things like to hide in there, guys. Especially in this kit, there's some little bitty things, so hopefully they're all easy to find for you. Okay, so this kit you can see, you may have various colors in your Dragonfly, in your Designer Series paper, and in this cardstock layer. That's because the Dragonflies were different colors, so I picked different ones to go with them. So you're going to get a basic white A2 base, a basic black layer that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, a basic black strip that is about a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4, a piece of designer series paper that is 1 1/2 inches by 5 inches. Now I think they have some beautiful designs on the back too, but most of them are fussier and wouldn't go with the packet so well. So you're going to want to use probably the side that coordinates with the piece of cardstock that I gave you. And that piece of cardstock is going to be 2 1/4 inches by 5 inches. In there, you're going to receive 1 punched out dragonfly and 2 little punched out vellum dragonflies, a punched out to the point label, and 3 pearls. So in this kit, all of those pieces came to you. You know I cannot do the stamping for you. That's against Stampin' Up! Rules. But these are the pearls that I used on there. They are our retired pearls, but we have current pearls that would work just as well. The designer series paper I used was the designer dragonfly paper that we had. These are my last 2 sheets, guys. This is it. When these are gone, I have no more dragonflies. But I love them and I hung on to them and I've been using them. I think it is such cute paper. And then the To the Point label punch is a current punch, but it is currently unavailable and won't be available for a few weeks, I don't think. It is a fantastic punch and it's sold out fast in this catalog. But I love it. I love the little design that it makes. It's really super cute. So these are the pieces that we're using, as well as I am using the sentiment from Sketched Butterflies that says, wishing you a beautiful birthday. Now you can pick whatever sentiment you want to go on your card. So let's put this together. It's pretty quick and easy. Actually, all of my free kit cards are pretty quick and easy. I don't want you to have to stress about them. I want them to come together so that you make them and send them out to someone and make their day. So I am just putting some seal in the corners on the back of my large piece of basic black, and I am going to center that onto my card front. Now always make sure that your card is opening the way you want it. At this point, if I had put it on the back, it wouldn't be right, but we're fine right here. If I had put this on the back and noticed it, I could still flip it. So it's a good time to check before you add any more. Now we're going to take the piece of solid cardstock, whatever your color might be, and we're going to place that left on the front of the basic black, leaving a pretty even border on the top, bottom, and sides. As close as you can. It may not be perfect. Nothing I do today will probably be perfect, guys. Just giving you a heads up. That's not even straight. But it's my card. Yours will be better. Then we're going to use our designer series paper piece. And I am going to place this over here to the side. And I'm just going to butt it right up against my cardstock. Just like that. Okay, and then you have this strip of black. So I am going to take my seal, and we're just going to add seal right down the middle of that. And I'm going to place that starting at the black at the bottom, going up over that seam all the way to the top to cover that seam. Okay, just like that. And then the next thing we want to do is take our little sentiment piece, and like I said, I'm going to do the Wishing You a Beautiful Birthday from the Sketched Butterflies set. This one just fit beautifully onto this punch, so I'm going to come and place that, and I used Memento Black. How pretty is that? I love that sentiment. What a pretty sentiment. And I'm going to be moving inks and stamps out of the way pretty regularly today, because when I feel like this, you just never know what might happen if I keep them out somewhere. So let's pop this sentiment up on a few dimensionals. Hope you guys are having a good day and that nobody else is sick. This has really been miserable. I actually went out to a couple things. We went out to dinner Wednesday night, and then I went to Bunko on Thursday night. And I'm thinking one of those places is probably where I picked this up. It was worth it. I had a great time at both of them. But yeah, don't like getting sick. And I hear so many people are sick right now. The good thing is I felt lousy and I've rested a lot, but I'm retired so I can do that. I feel so bad for people who are still working or have children that they have to take care of and they're sick like this. I remember those days. Not fun. So we're going to place this. I'm going to have the edge of this sentiment come about halfway into my black strip and maybe about 1.25 inches or so down from the top of the card. And then we're going to take our dragonfly, and let me grab my bone folder. I am going to curve up the wings on this dragonfly just a little bit to give it just a little more dimension, like it's coming off of the paper, a tad. Now again, your dragonflies can be numerous colors. There were several on that sheet, so whatever you have, that's the one that you were lucky enough to get. And I'm going to place a glue dot right behind the body of my dragonfly, and then take this and place it onto my sentiment so that his head is coming kind of up here where this sentiment comes together. I see my finger is yellow. Do you see that? I'm not a smoker. It's not from smoking, and it's actually not from ink. It's from turmeric. I've been making turmeric tea and turmeric broth because it's supposed to be so good for healing. And boy, it stains everything. It is all over my counter. It does come off with the little Mr. Clean scrubby things, but yeah. Okay, so then we're going to take our larger pearl, and I'm going to place that right in the middle of this dragonfly's body, just like that. And the next thing we're going to do is add our 2 little dragonflies. Now, if you want, you can curve those wings up too with your bone folder. I didn't do that on here, and I'm not going to bother doing it on my sample either, but you certainly can. I am going to place a glue dot right behind the body of this little bitty dragonfly, and another one. And now the glue dots do show through the vellum. That is one thing with vellum, is most of your adhesives are going to show through somewhat. But we're going to put these little pearls right in the middle of where those glue dots are, and that will help camouflage that so it's not nearly as noticeable. So try to get them centered right on there, and it almost looks like a little aura around the pearl. Oh my gosh, my fingers really are yellow from that turmeric. Wow. I am sorry about that. Didn't know that much had stained, but it certainly did, because I've been washing my hands like crazy being sick. So, okay guys, that is our first card. Now on my original envelope, I did stamp that sentiment on there because I don't like naked envelopes. But there you go. Yours might be yellow. Yours might be this, whatever color I have here. Boy, my brain is not working well. Or it could be a totally different color, but I hope you like the one I picked for you. That is card 1. Let's take off this and bring this back in case you want to do a quick screenshot. You are welcome to do that. Hopefully it's completely in the screen. I can't see for sure. I'm going to bring it down a little bit until my picture comes up here. Yeah, I think bringing it down worked perfect. So, okay, if you want to do a screenshot again, I will post these later also. So there we go with that. On to card number 2. There are the instructions. Here is the card. And here is my kit. So this card 2 is sending you a big hug. So I wanted to make it, it's perfect for Valentine's month, but I know we're getting really late to get a Valentine out. But sending you a big hug can be for any time. I'm trying to make sure I have all my sequins in here. There they are. Okay, so in this kit, let me get this out of the way. In this kit, you will have received your envelope, your basic white A2 base, a layer of Flirty Flamingo, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I embossed this with the free Celebration Starburst embossing folder. So it's got these beautiful little starbursts, excuse me, all over it. Then I have a layer of basic black, and this is 2 7/8 by 4 1/4. And a layer of swirly DSP that is 2 5/8 by 4. Now this is not the current swirly Valentine paper we have. This came from the Most Adored paper, which was a celebration free item last year. And this is how I cut a lot of my papers down, guys. And I keep them in these cello envelopes. And they're like a card front size, so I can use them on just about anything. And it's a great way to store them. So I still have quite a bit of this. You'll probably see some of this paper coming back on a free card again in the future. And then in your kit, you have a heart that was die cut from basic white. And this was cut out from using the dies from Hearts of Elegance, where you have lots of different sizes to pick from. You have a little piece of gingham ribbon and a bow, and these are just the vanilla and black gingham ribbons. So it's our large check ribbon right here. And all I did was take the Flirty Flamingo blend and colored it before I tied my bow and cut it for you. So that's how it got to be that beautiful color to match our card. And then there's 3 little sequins in your kit, and these sequins come from the adhesive backed shiny sequins. And guys, these are on the last chance list right now. They're only $4.50. They come with the peach pie, I think it's maybe lemon lime twist, a yellow and a pink. And they match like the Fruit Designer Series paper. They match the mushroom paper. They are fantastic. So scarf up a few more of these if you like them, because sequins are my favorite. So that's what, they're still there. I looked this morning and they were still there. Okay, let's put this card together. Oh, and then my sentiment. I don't think I told you my sentiment. We're going to use the sentiment that says sending you a big hug, and that comes from the Hugs for Love stamp set that is currently available. So we're going to take that pretty piece of embossed Flirty Flamingo, and it is not a 3D embossing folder. It has not curled up the cardstock very much, so I'm going to just do the corners and come in here and place this centered onto my card front, just like that. And then we're going to take our piece of basic black, and I am going to put a little bit of seal right about halfway down on the back side of this card, okay? So I'm going to put some right here. And then I'm going to take a glue dot and put it on the back end, one of the ends, doesn't really matter, of this ribbon. So what we're doing is that we're making this so the illusion looks like this ribbon was wrapped completely around the black cardstock, but it's not. We're just going to wrap it around this side. So I'm going to come in here at that spot, stick my glue dot down on the front, and wrap this around onto the adhesive on the back, just like that. Now I could have put adhesive on the front, but because it's a little thicker, I didn't want it to show anywhere, so that's why I used the glue dot. And you could have also just used a glue dot on the back, whatever works for you. But that way we have this. So now we're going to take our piece of Designer Series paper, and the backs are beautiful on here, guys. So you really probably could use that. It's just gorgeous. I don't know if they're all the same design that you got, but I don't think the white pops quite as much on them. So I like the Swirly Flamingo because it matches the layer we already put down. And we're going to take this, and I'm going to add this to the front of this black piece, just centered, or pretty darn close to it. Okay, so now we just have that tiny little bit of ribbon sticking out here. So instead of wasting that whole huge piece, we just have to use a little bit of ribbon. It makes your ribbon go much further, trust me. And when we put this on the card, you're going to see what I'm talking about. We're going to pop this piece up here on dimensionals. Just like that. And just to anchor my ribbon just a tiny bit more, I'm going to put one right there too, just over the tip of that. Just in the middle somewhere would be good. I'm just anchoring that. A glue dot would really hold it. Sometimes the adhesives can pull, so just to be safe. And then we're going to come in here and I'm going to place this and figure out the way you want your swirls to go. I kind of like them going up like that, so we're going to go this direction. This is just going to be centered on the front of your card with your little piece of ribbon over here to the right. Okay, so if I had turned that around to do the swirls the other way, my ribbon would have been on the wrong side and I'd have had to put my bow over here, which wouldn't have been the end of the world. It could have been done, but I didn't turn it around, so yay. Okay, now we're going to use the Memento ink again and our sentiment, sending you a big hug. And that's going to go right in the middle of our heart here. I really feel like I'm off on everything. Like everything's a little slanted, a little twisted, a little curvy today. I don't know. My head feels, like I said, filled like it's filled with cotton balls. Maybe that's why. But hopefully I'm not doing too bad on any of this. Then we're going to take this and I'm going to add some seal to the back of my heart. We're going to place that in the center of our swirly piece so that this ribbon is coming about right in the middle of that heart like that. I'm going to take a glue dot on the back of the bow, and your bows should be pre-tied for you. I tried to do that for everyone, so I think that's helpful for you that don't like to tie bows. And I am just going to come in here with that glue dot and place this over to the right, just right across from where that ribbon was. So now you can see how that gives you the illusion that I tied that ribbon around and put the bow there. And I really love that look, and I love that it saved us a little bit on that ribbon. Let's take our sequins. We're going to place a large one up here, a small one down from it, and then our third one to complete our triangle over here. Now you possibly could have received 2 large and 1 small, or 2 small and 1 large. It varies. I use them all up, so whatever you get is what you get, but you will have 3 sequins with at least 2 sizes in your kit. So that is our card number 2. On my sample, like I said, I did decorate the envelope with the sentiment, which I always do if I don't have something else to put on there. Here is, once again, the recipe along with the card if you want to take a screenshot. Excuse me one moment while I take a quick sip of coffee. That is one way I know I am getting better, because after Saturday morning, I didn't have any coffee Saturday, Sunday, or Monday until last night. And I thought, oh, I must be getting better, because that was the first time I wanted coffee. So that was a good sign. Okay, that is card number 2. Let's get on to card number 3. Here is the recipe and some of the products that I use. So let me grab these out. Okay, so here is the card. It is just kind of a fun celebrating card. It would be great for a teenager or any music lover that you might know. So that's the card that we're making. I am going to use the sentiment that says, "So happy to celebrate you," and that sentiment comes from the Layering Leaves set that is currently available in the catalog. And the papers that I used on here were from the Retired Rock and Roll papers that were out last spring. Again, you can see this was enough to put in 2 of these cellos, so I just marked them with what it was when it came out and what it cost so that I know that for the future. The little guitars in your kit were fussy cut from this paper. You can see I added an accent of red on here. You do not have to do that. You can have a completely black and white card, or you can add an accent if you want. All of the guitars have a little spot you can accent, except for this design right here. On this one, you would have to probably color the whole guitar if you wanted, but I think that'd be really super cute too. So that is the paper that we used. The little gems on here are from the classic matte dots that are retired. I like them because they were vanilla and gray and black and white, which are so great to use. So we're using those. And then I think that's it. So let's look at our pieces real quickly. In your card kit, again, you're going to have a basic white envelope for this card. You should have a basic black card base, as well as 2 layers of basic white, one for the front and one for the inside. And these are 4 inches by 5 1/4. Plus you're going to have a small rectangle of basic white that is 1 3/4 by 2. You're going to have a piece of retired ribbon that's about 3 inches long. Guys, I found this in an old box. This is really old. I mean, I can't even remember when we sold this. It's so old. But it was on a Stampin' Up spool, so I know it was Stampin' Up. Here is some pieces of basic black cardstock. So these are going to be, if I can remember, I'm looking here at my list, 4 inches. I might have done that wrong. Let me see. Basic black. I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong thing. 2 inches by 5 inches, 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and 2 1/4 by 2 1/2. So this is slightly rectangular. Just be aware of that. Then you're going to have some designer series paper. So you should have a fussy cut guitar of some image. It could be any of the images off that paper. I think there's 5 different designs. You're going to have designer series paper that is 1 3/4 by 4 3/4, 2 1/2 by 4, and then this strip that I don't think I measured. Oh, I think this was just actually an extra strip I had, and so I cut them down and included them. This is for the inside of your card, so it's about a 1/2 inch by 4 inches for the inside. I didn't include it in the measurements, and that's fine. And then 2 of those little gems. So let's get this card and put it together. I think for this one, the first thing I'm going to do is just stamp my sentiment. You want your rectangle so that it is going up and down, so it's taller than it is wide. At least for this sentiment. I mean, you could switch that up if your sentiment went better the other direction. That would work too. You're just going to have to adjust how it goes down on the card a little bit. So let's ink this up. Again, I used Memento Black, which almost always works for anything. So if you have that pad and you're stamping, you should be good. I'm going to put that right in the middle like that. I think we're done with the Memento Black ink for today, so I'm going to get that far away from me, just so I don't mess anything up. And then you have your layer of white. So I'm going to take my little strip and just put this across the bottom of one of these pieces of cardstock, just to kind of pull in those stripes. Now, I am human, so it's not always perfect, so I try to lay mine there and see. If it's a little shorter, I just center it. If it's a little longer, I just let it go to one edge and then trim it off. But this one was pretty darn close. We're going to add some seal to the corners of this on the back. And then put this inside of the card base. And I thought this was a really cute card. I have grandsons, and teenage boys are hard to make cards for me, and they're not extremely into music, but I don't think that that would matter on this one. I think it looks fine. So then we're going to take our other piece. Looks like I'm down to the end on my seal, so I'm just going to pull out that one. You can tell when you get to the orange that that one is done. I'm going to pull it out and throw it away, and I have a refill right here, so I don't worry about opening the little tear thing here it has, like one of those little Ziploc type tops. That would be if you only have one of these bases and you are switching back and forth between your Seal and your Seal Plus. Then whatever one you're not using, you'd probably want to keep in there sealed just to help it from not drying out in any way. I use mine so fast that would never happen anyway, but okay, we just snap that back in there. Super simple. I love the way they are so really easy to refill. And then you just want to feed it till you feel the sticky, which is what I did with my finger there for a second. And then we're going to put this onto the front of our card base centered. Just like that. Then let's put the rest of our little pieces together here. So my rectangular black piece, the smallest one, this is where my ribbon is going to go around, and it's just going to go across the center. So I'm putting this again vertically. If you're switching it, it is long enough that you could also do it that direction if you switched it for your sentiment. But we're going to do it horizontally this way. And for this one, I'm going to do just a glue dot on each end on the back. So I'm going to put a glue dot on there. And I'm going to put a glue dot on there. There's always more than one way to add your embellishments, guys. So find what works for you. I'll be honest, I kind of switch off. Like on that last one, I told you why I didn't use the seal on the front. And I could have used a glue dot on the back. Sometimes it's whatever mood I'm in or what's close to me on my table. So I'm just going to wrap one of those glue dots around on the back, hold it tight, and then pull this as tight as I can and wrap it on the other side, just like that. So there's our little polka dots. They're not going to stick out much, so it doesn't really matter, but we're going to add our sentiment right over that. So I'm going to put seal across the bottom and the top of this sentiment. That way it'll straddle the ribbon. We're going to come in here and center this onto that rectangle, just like that. Then we have our tall piece of Designer Series paper. Now these do have both sides that I think are going to be black and white on them. So if you want to switch something up, if you don't want the way I have it on my card, go ahead and switch it up. But I'm keeping the stripes so that it matches on the inside. If I was switching to this, I would have switched the stripes on the inside to match this most likely. But to me, the black on black is a little dark and dreary, and the white is a little more vibrant. So we're going to go with more white showing. This is a super easy layout where you can use up your Designer Series paper, some of your scraps that are odd sizes. Just cut your layer around them to be 1/4 inch larger each way, and you're good. So take your scrap the way it is and go for it. On this one, I am going to use the little boom box side on here. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to place this right onto the other rectangle of black. Now this does have a right and wrong, which I'm pretty sure is this way. Otherwise my boom box, if you're old enough to remember boom boxes, would have been upside down. So, okay, let's get this put together. On the back of this long piece, just going to add some seal. We're going to place that over to the edge here with kind of an even border, top, left side, and bottom. Then I'm going to take my record player and boombox plate piece and add some seal to that. And we're going to place that over here. So I have kind of an even border on this side matching this side, and top to bottom pretty even on here. So again, don't worry about it too much because nobody knows how you meant to place it. I just want all of the colors of Designer Series paper showing through all of the patterns. So that's how I chose to do it. On this piece, we're going to add some dimensionals. So I'm going to put one in the middle and one on each corner. Just like that. And then we are going to take our verse, and I am just moving it over here to the side and kind of having another even border, just strips of the different papers. And actually on my original one, I brought it down to the bottom, and I'm going to do that again. To me, bringing it down to the bottom a little bit just lets more of this paper show up here so you get a better visual of the image. And then we're going to take our guitar, and I am going to add that pop of color. Now, if I didn't want to, I could just layer it on there just like that, and we would just have a really black and white card, which would be totally fine. But I grabbed my Dark Poppy Parade, I think. Yeah, Dark Poppy Parade. And I'm just going to come in here and add that accent of red to the center of this card. I love just that little pop of color. Now, if you were giving a gift that was color themed, you could change this to any color you want. If you have someone you know who has a guitar that's colored, you could color it to match the guitar that they have. If you have a favorite color and it's not red, go ahead and use that. But to me, red and black and white look so great together. Now this is going to get placed right on to my sentiment. And I'm going to place it by putting some glue just behind the middle of the guitar bottom. And it's going to go right on top of my dimensional that I laid there, which is going to give it some nice firmness to push down onto. So I'm just going to add that glue. The handle is hanging over. I don't think that's a problem at all. I'm just going to leave it hanging over. You could also put a mini glue dot behind there if you're worried about it, or anchor it down with a glue dot. But as long as you're careful putting it in the envelope, I kind of like when something is not so anchored down on my card. And then in this kit, you only got 2 gems, which is different than usual because I usually do 3s. And I'm placing it just below the large one, just below where my dimensional was, so that if it goes through the mail, that's going to squish down and it's going to protect it a little bit. And I'm going to take my little one, oops, it's just now stuck to my pad, and put it just to the right side of that dimensional, okay? Just like that. So now they'll push down in the mail. That'll be really good for protecting them. And the only reason I'm using 2 is because now my guitar becomes my triangle visually. So I didn't really need 3 gems on this card. On the envelope, again, I put my sentiment. So that is card number 3. Guys, let's put that out. Get this out of the way and bring in our recipe again in case you want to take a screenshot. There we go. And then we have one more project and we are done, guys. I try to get this class to go through pretty darn quickly. So we're doing okay. My voice is held out for what it's worth. I haven't coughed too much. I haven't had to blow my nose or sneeze. So all is good. Okay, here is the bonus project. I did notice 2 things today when I was putting it together. There was a mistake on the scoring. So I'm going to talk you through the scoring, but I changed it correctly on here now. And I had forgotten that I used the Summer Splash ink pad. I hadn't added that on the recipe. So now they will be there when you make your project. And this is the little project that we're making. It is a tea bag holder. And I think it's adorable. These are super simple, guys. So once you have this pattern down, they are easy to make. So in your kit, you are going to have your base, which we'll talk about in a minute. You are going to have a piece of designer series paper that is 3 inches by 3 inches. And this designer series paper comes from the retired Lighter Than Air paper, which is gorgeous for this time of year, for spring. If you have some, now's the time to pull it out. For Easter, I will be playing with it. And as you can see, I have almost a full pack. So you might be getting this on a future card also. So that's the Lighter Than Air. And then you're going to have a basic white rectangle. No, not a rectangle. A basic white hexagon that was punched out with a heartfelt hexagon punch. So that is going to be in there. And those are done. Let me see. And ribbon. So we have ribbon, and this ribbon is about 20 inches long. And this ribbon is a retired ribbon, and it was the pool party from Celebration last year. And I actually won this from another demonstrator. I had commented on something and she sent it to me, which was perfect because I thought I had enough and I ran out on my spool and had to open the one she sent me. So that was very, very sweet. I can't even remember what demonstrator it was. One thing I did notice, and I hope you guys notice this when I send you something, is her package didn't have her demonstrator name on it anywhere or anything inside that showed it. So I wasn't sure. I'm sure I could find it if I looked, but I try to always give you my information so you know why you are getting that prize in the mail. And then a bag of tea. So look at these packets of tea. Weren't they perfect for this? I actually designed the little holder around the color of the tea bag I had because I thought these were just so stinking cute. What a pretty color. Okay, guys, let's work on putting this together. So for this base, let me see if I can get this right in my mind while I'm telling you, because I don't want to mess it up, because if I do, it'll confuse you. So for this base, you are going to score at 3.5 inches. So it's just a big long rectangle when you normally start, and the rectangle is 3.5 by 11, okay? You're gonna score at 3.5 inches, at 7 inches, and again at 7.5 inches. So that was where I messed up on here. I had put half, but it's not, it's 7.5, so I corrected that. Then on this first panel, so not on the end where you have the 2 score lines, on this very first panel, you're gonna cut diagonally from that upper left corner down to where it hits the score line. So you're just cutting off diagonally half of that front panel there, okay? And then this is the trick. Now, I could have probably translated this so I didn't have to do it, but this is how I've always done it, so this is how I'm teaching you. You're gonna turn this completely around, so now this flap is on the left. And on your kit, I already placed a piece of extra sticky tape right here along the bottom to help hold this together as we put it together. So I'm going to burnish that and then take my snips and peel off that backing just like that. And then this just gets folded over onto itself like that. So now you've made like this little book with a pocket inside. Now we're going to put the tea bag in there, but before I go any further, I did want to show you that you actually can put a gift card in here if you wanted. Because it's upside down. It'll just fit in there like that. So you could do a tea bag and a gift card. You could also do a tea bag or a piece of chocolate, or you could put your gift card this way, but then it would stick out on top, but it would make sure that they know that they're getting a gift card and they don't miss out on that. So this is a fun little pocket that you can make, but I've seen them mostly with tea, so that is what we're doing. We're gonna now place our ribbon. So to place my ribbon, I am taking my seal, and on the back side of this square that has the diagonal part here on this little pocket side, on the very back of that, I'm going to go from the score line over to the edge with my seal. You could also use sticky tape here. That would work great too, but I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to lay my ribbon on top of here, and I'm going to lay it so I have about equal amounts coming off either side. I'm not measuring it. If you want, you could certainly measure yours to be sure you have the same amount. I just want it to be about equal so that when I fold this up, I have enough ribbon to tie a bow over here. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, now that I have that, I'm also going to come in here on the front and add a little piece of seal just to kind of anchor it on the front also. Not as much. I'm not so worried about that if it has a little give to it. And I'm not so worried about perfection on it because this is going to be pretty covered up. So we're going to take our piece of this gorgeous little floral paper. I don't even know if they're floral. They're just like little cute little puffs on there. And you can go either vertically on here or horizontally, however you like, because it's the same size, 3 by 3. But I'm going to do mine horizontal. I just like the way that pattern lays better. Everyone has their own visual ideas, so don't be afraid to make these projects your own. And we're going to come in here and just lay this down over the ribbon, centered on that front panel, just like that. Okay? And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment. So my sentiment is stamped using Summer Splash. And the sentiment I'm using on here says, wishing you all the happiness in the world. And that comes from the Translucent Floral set, which is another favorite current set. I have so many sets. I love them all. Okay, we're going to come in here and I am going to stamp this into the middle of my hexagon. We're pretty darn close and a little bit crooked. I'm going to try it one more. We might come back to that side. That might end up being my straightest today, the way my head is, but let's try one more and see. And that was a little side. I think this is fine. We're going to use this one. It's a little bit straighter on there. So Summer Splash and the sentiment. This is going to get popped up on dimensionals. And I am going to add 2 dimensionals to the top and 2 dimensionals to the bottom, and none, I guess it really wouldn't matter. I think I am going to put 1 just to hold it up, just to be sure. It's not very big. It probably doesn't need 5, but we're going to make sure that it stands up nice on our little tea bag holder. Let's remove our backing. And then we're going to place this in the middle of the front of our tea bag holder. Okay, and then for the embellishment on here, I used retired adhesive backed glitter sequins, which I loved when they were out, and I think this is now my last pack. And I did have extras, but I think this is it, and that's okay. So in your kit, you should have gotten 3 sequins, but for some reason I don't see mine. I hope I didn't forget them in your kits. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I'm sure it just, who knows where they went, or maybe I didn't take them out for my own. Who knows? But we're going to use these, and hopefully you have 3 of them in your kit. Again, you could have 2 large and a small, 2 small and a large. I am going to place my large one up here, kind of over to the side, just like that, and a small one at an angle up here from it. And then either 1 more large or small, whatever you have, down here on the side. Let's place it in a little bit. Since my whole sentiment is slightly to the right, I think putting 2 of them here and 1 here really kind of balances it better. So that worked out pretty well. And then we need to take our beautiful little tea bag that matches perfectly and stick it inside in the pocket. And you should be able to stick it all the way down so that it doesn't stick out over the top. Close up your little tea bag holder. And I hopefully have given you enough ribbon that you should be able to tie a bow to close it. I couldn't tie this bow for you guys because it doesn't get tied till the end here. So, but I think I gave you enough. If I can do this here, and I think I'll have quite a bit left over, I think there's plenty for you. And then you can trim your ribbon ends. Now, I'm not going to trim this one yet, just like I didn't trim this one. In case I want to open them up again and put a gift card or something in them, I'm not going to trim my ribbon till the very end when I'm ready to give it to someone. But that is our little tea bag holder, and I think they're so cute. And they're so easy to make. So let's get that out of the way. Bring back in our recipe sheet, just like that, if you want to take a screenshot. Now, again, I did promise I will post these. I'm going to go lay down for a while, but hopefully I'll get back in here and post them today. But soon, if I don't. I hope you like these projects, guys. Thanks for taking your time to be with me. I know my energy level is down, but I am here. If you enjoyed today's class, just be sure to place an order from me in the month of February so that you can get the next class kit. It's a great time to order right now with celebration going on, and that qualifying celebration order is going to also get you, using my hostess code, don't forget, is also going to get you the kit for the class next month, and it will get you a mystery box of goodies. So I hope you consider purchasing this month. As always, I would love to be your creative coach and demonstrator. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to me in the comments of this video, or feel free to email me anytime at crazystampinglady@gmail.com. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.